Hello, amazing, beautiful souls. So welcome. It is August 11th. We got a master number day and hope you guys are well. Hope you caught my last video. You can find that on my Facebook page, which is Kindred Heart Tarot. So I decided to do a romance reading today because I think there's a lot of beautiful energy in the air in terms of energies with our soul bonds, soulmates, twin flames. There's just so much connection and empowerment happening as we navigate some tricky challenges in terms of discovering for ourselves whether or not we're ready to take the next step in our committed relationships with ourselves, but also with others. And all of the lessons we've learned, all of the situations that we've been in, or smaller relationships that we just went through over the Venus retrograde cycle probably gave some insights. And if you were single during that time, you would have received insights in terms of your relationship to yourself as well as others. So I think today is a really beautiful day to dive in there and navigate some of the, romantic intimacy and questions with regards to the energies that are surrounding our love life. So I've pulled from a few different decks today. I've got my Soul Indicators cards and Kindred Spirit Love Oracle, as well as the Doreen Virtue Romance Angels, Fairy Oracle, and Work Your Light, as well as the Psychic Tarot Energies of the Heart by John Holland. So let's just dive in. I did a little bit differently today, and I'm not going to do a channel except for that quick introduction I just did, and hopefully you guys like the new setup. It's taken me a while, but finally here we go. This is my new setup. I'm pretty happy with it. So hopefully you guys enjoy the energy from it too. So let's kind of see what energies are kind of overarching right now in terms of the romance angels and guidance that we have. We've got free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. So we're really looking at where we are giving away our power and or where we're kind of obsessing or overthinking about things instead of going with the flow and the natural progression of things, instead of feeling like we have to push something or we have to make a sacrifice that doesn't feel right for us, doesn't feel true or authentic. Thanks, Stacy. And of course, this applies to a multitude of things in your life. So if you have been stuck in negative thinking, we're freeing ourselves. If you have been stuck in toxic energy patterns, you're freeing yourself. If you didn't believe you were worth a healthy, safe relationship, you're freeing and disconnecting yourself from that belief so that you can actually recognize, I am worth it. I might have to put in some work here and work on myself, but I'm willing now, whereas maybe I wasn't before. Or maybe you didn't realize you're non-committal. Now you realize, oh, okay, like it's time. I can open my heart again. I've been afraid. So there's a lot of energy going on with freeing yourself. And this could also be in terms of connections that are draining you or just not reciprocating. And so if you find yourself in that energy, you know now that it's safe to step back from that, because if it's meant to be, it will still come around in divine timing, and you can't force it anyway. So that will be a misuse of your very precious energy at this time. So this beautiful unicorn, has the ability to just kind of stand up and hop out of here. And that is going to free up a lot of energy for your soul bond and tribe that's, coming in. So to clarify that, we have magic. Magic has a way of touching the heart and drawing power from the soul. So here's a funny thing. Unicorns are, I was going to say entrenched, but I don't really like that word. They're surrounded by magic, like that energy of who first created the idea of unicorns? Were they real? Are they mythical? Right? Like this idea of magic, this idea of that enchanting energy. And right now with our love lives, and I guess I could have channeled a little bit about this, but we have a lot of divine healing and divine intervention and or pivot points depending on where you are with some key karmic contracts or key soul bonds. You'll be noticing these signs and synchronicities and omens in your intuition, in your waking life. So in the 3D, this can be number sequences. It could be 11, 11, 10, 10, 12, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's what makes sense to you. And Spirit will bring this sign for you over and over again. If you ask, okay, I think that was a sign. Can you confirm? Go for it. Lean in a little bit to that, but also listen to your intuition and know that, okay, if that was a sign, just take it for what it is and go, thank you. I saw that. And we just had 555 on the timestamp there. So we have a lot of magic around us, but we have a lot of magic around these connections too. And it's really important that we remember the power of love and the power of magic in our lives. Even if we don't feel, that nurturing energy in our heart space right now, we know intuitively that it does exist, and we know how quickly that energy can transform and empower us. So if you're feeling stuck or you've been feeling stagnant or like things haven't been moving fast enough, then this is just a reminder. Magic, miracles, blessings, that energy of creation can really move things quite quickly. And especially when you get that kind of power or ignition of excitement or enchantment in your own life. As soon as that happens, it'll be like, boom, that energy is going to just flow through you. And this connection that's coming in is really going to help you put the pieces of the puzzle together in your own life. So you are doing or have done as much as you can independently to align with your path, align and heal and work with your light and shadow sides, looking at the conscious and subconscious, the patterns that work for you and the patterns that don't. And so really moving into this magical healing energy of this, commitment and this connection that's going to be coming in. So here, we're already in, but to be honest, this reading is most likely intended for someone who's either in separation or single. But if you do find yourself here, obviously take the energies and how they resonate for you and leave the rest. And that goes for anybody who comes on to these general readings. If you'd like a personal or private reading, then you can message me. Or you can find me on Facebook at Kindred Heart Tarot and book right from Facebook there. So just remember to use your own discretion and your own intuition when I'm doing these general readings. So another thing we have here is warrior woman. So most of the people watching will probably be women, but this applies to the divine feminine within you, whether you are masculine or feminine, it doesn't matter. There is a feminine warrior in you and there's a masculine warrior in you. So this one says, if you weren't afraid, what would you do? So how are our fears holding us back with either opening up to a new relationship, communicating in a relationship where there's separation or a little bit of confusion, and really stand in this warrior energy? And I always see this sword here as the sword of truth. So how can we cut through doubts? How can we cut through confusion or miscommunication and actually really stand in that power and vulnerability? Because a warrior is vulnerable, okay, right? Like they go into war, or if you think of a spiritual warrior, they're willing to go into the shadows, into the darkness, hoping and trusting and having faith that they can come out of that with lessons and strength and power to serve and share that with others or protect others and themselves, right? So this energy is really important to consider at this time in terms of freeing yourself, allowing this magic to be in your sphere and around you, but also recognizing for yourself where your limitations and fears are holding you back. So beautiful, beautiful energy so far. Seems pretty cohesive. I have one more kind of like outlier card. I'm going to pull that one, and then I'll tell you what I've done for this next segment here. So this is from the Affirmators Love and Relationships card. Just a little hint, how can we navigate this energy? What's going on here? It says teamwork. So I'm determined to be a good teammate in all of my relationships. If we disagree, I'll resist the urge to place blame and look for a way to solve the problem together. When we're a team, everything's a game. And when we're on the same side, nobody can lose, not even the Cubs, finally, right? So this is a really awesome energy because it's also talking about, and I've mentioned this in my previous readings, when we're just focused on ourselves, sometimes we really need to do that to get in alignment. But there's also this acknowledgement that when you're competing, so I'm more important than you, my goals are more important, I don't want to wait for you if you want to do that, or when you have that kind of competing energy, that's not teamwork. So you're on separate sides. So you're going to have contention because one person needs to be right and the other needs to be wrong in order for there to be forward movement. So if you're on the same team and you're aligning and going, okay, how can we move forward as a team, and recognizing that your energy combined, united, is going to produce far more than it would if you're both in your own corners, just focused on yourselves for, I'm going to go with more like a selfish ego kind of, rigid holding pattern instead of like an open, I'm single, I'm powerful energy. So if you can understand the difference that I'm talking about there, this card suggests that we are really going to need to compromise or collaborate with this soul bond that's coming in. Is not just going to be about us. It's not just going to be about them. There's going to be an equal exchange of energy. And we do have to come in with that intention. We have to go, okay, my priorities are these. What are yours? Right? Or this is my timeline for this, or this is my need and this is my want in a relationship. So if your needs are compatible in work, then you can work on the wants later and prioritize in that regard. So, hey, Jake, how you doing? Aw, maybe. I'm hoping that others, Stacy, you can let me know, is the video choppy today? It should be okay. I'm not getting any glitches on my side, so I'm not sure what's going on there. For the second part of the reading, what I've done is I've asked, what's the underlying energy of your energy and your partner's? And then a tarot card to clarify that, as well as the energy between the two of you. And from my Kindred Spirit Love Oracle, I've pulled two, and that's going to be the energies around both. So what are the two people working on right now? So here are the underlying energies for you, the viewer. We have reliable or reliability. So you're really, really focused and looking to be reliable yourself in this relationship. So a very stable, solid ground and safe commitment so that you can build on something. You want it to be long lasting. And you also really want your focus on making sure that this person who's coming in is also reliable, and focused on that reliability as a very strong character trait within themselves. So they pride themselves in being reliable, and they're also looking for a reliable, committed partner as well. So that's a really good energy to have as an underlying energy. And this soul indicators deck, how I created it is half of the deck is kind of light energies, and so those are the white background like this, and then half are shadow aspects. So we'll see if the soul bond, the person coming in or the person that you're working with, is in the light or the shadow energy for their underlying energy. So this is their energy now. So we've got Flake, and this is really funny because this is the pairing, the reliable and Flake. So definitely having a little bit of a clash energy in terms of what is underlying you. You're reliable, you're ready, and your person is still clearing energies of unworthiness, energies of being uncertain or undecided. So they haven't fully committed to this relationship in their energetic sphere. So there's this underlying kind of worm in the apple that they are still working on, or spirit is working on with them to move them into that reliable. Because once they choose, it's like they can jump in full heart, both feet. Right now, what that indicates is that they've got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So they're not quite ready to commit, or they're not quite ready to move forward and take action towards you. So we'll see what kind of clarifiers come up in the tarot cards. So for you, with that reliable energy, we've got sadness and isolation resonating to the number 3. And this totally makes sense, right? Because, I think there are a lot of singles out there right now who are happy and or content to be on their own. Like, they don't fear being on their own. And they're working with that energy. So they'll take advantage of the energy of being single or not being in relationship and thinking about what they want for the future. But there's also this longing and this energy of wanting or manifesting that really powerful relationship. And so that can bring a lot of sadness and isolation, especially if you can intuitively feel this is where your person is at, right? So it doesn't feel great not to be a priority, or to feel like it's always in the future, like always getting postponed, or it's we're far off in the distance, and you're kind of going, well, I deserve this. And you might be looking at other people, and we just had 1717 on the timestamp. That might mean something significant to you. You might be looking at other people in partnership and going, well, why? Like, I deserve an amazing partnership. Like, what the heck is going on here? And if we can go back to spirit's energy in the beginning with the magic and fears and free yourself, it's releasing that obsession with how it has to be and allowing that energy to come through in its own time. And that in itself is a challenge for some of us. Some of you might be able to navigate that really well and just like, okay, when that thinking pattern comes in, either you're ruminating about the past or you're looking at the future and going, this is how it has to be. That can be tricky and sticky energy to navigate out of, but I have faith in you guys and myself that we can do this. As soon as you get into that pattern where you're feeling kind of trapped or stuck, or sorry for yourself, not that that's always a bad thing. Of course, you can feel sorry for yourself once in a while, but if you are just kind of like steeping in that, it's probably not so great. So pivot, navigate, come back to your power, come back to facing your fears, confronting them head on and going, okay, I've been afraid of commitment in the past. I see it now and I'm ready. And what does that mean for me? And just continue walking through those energies and moving through this sadness and isolation. But what I like about this is you see kind of the two sides of the coin here and the yin yang. And we have this, contracted, curled up person who's protecting themselves, who's guarded, who probably feels vulnerable. And this is kind of like also the gestation when a seedling is planted under the soil. We just had 1919 as well. When the seedling is planted in the soil, it has to be under there for a while to cultivate and grow its roots. And so this time is significant for us, this sadness, this isolation, or this independence, or being single. But this is also preparing us for this kind of breakthrough, this sun moment where we feel that warmth again, we feel that magic again, and we're opening ourselves, we're opening our heart and energetic sphere up to receiving love. I don't feel like a lot of my viewers have issues giving love. I feel like this is energies of having a reciprocal relationship, a balanced relationship where both parties are equally invested. So this energy is, unfolding and unfurling those kind of energetic roots or branches, so that you can receive all of this beautiful sun energy that's just waiting to come through. So also, I'm going to kind of go back and say spirit is reliable. So, and you are reliable. So what you are manifesting, what you're calling in, is here for you, and it probably is in your sphere already. So feel the energy of already having this amazing person in your life or back in your life, whatever really feels strong to you, and just kind of celebrate in that energy, maybe just for a moment or two, like step into the magic of what it would be like to be in that energy right now. So let's see what the clarifier is for the person that you're either thinking about or the person that's coming in. Flow, number 10. This is a major arcana. So they are going through a very powerful sequence of events, probably dark night of the soul, very big transformations in terms of who they thought they were and who they actually are. And so this is the Wheel of Fortune, and there is some very powerful movement. So there's this change from being stuck, being in a victim mentality, and opening up and actually being open to change and seeing, okay, there is flow in my life. All right, I've been kind of stuck. I've been in this like negative energy or this kind of less than energy. So really with that low self-esteem or low self-worth, putting themselves in situations where that's kind of reflected back to them, whereas they know that they're worthy of more. They know that they're worthy of a relationship with you. They're also facing their fears and tapping into that feminine energy where they can be vulnerable and express their feelings and emotions. So there's movement in that realm as well. The foundations were rocked and they realized, okay, well, if you don't want to show your emotions at all, then you cannot have a relationship with depth. So you will not connect on that level. You won't feel the rewards of that. And so you're self-sabotaging because that relationship will ultimately end if you're in a relationship with someone who is emotionally available and communicative, because they won't be able to be in alignment with you. You have to open up. So that can go both ways if you feel like you resonate with one side or the other, but this one is intended to be the energy of that person who's coming in or that you're separated from at this time. So they're working on moving forward from the energies of the past and really opening up to committing to an emotional connection, which means that they have to be vulnerable, and that's very scary. So they're doing some work right now with regards to that, because you can't force them to open, force them to unfurl when they're not ready. They have to choose that themselves. So that might be a timing issue right now. And spirit will always remind you, like if you're twiddling your thumbs, there's always something that you can be doing to make your life or your energy powerful, clear, and ready and open for when that shift comes. So you're not waiting around for anybody. You are, if you feel that energy, redirect and focus and funnel that energy back into, what do I want to do right now? What goal can I accomplish? What creativity can I get into to move this energy of waiting or wanting this person to come in like now? So just remind yourself when you get into that energy that you have the power to shift it. So I'm going to read the little excerpt from this one, the Wheel of Fortune. I pretty well covered it all, but it says, Attract, expect, release, serendipity, cycles, and expansion. The energies around you at this time are positive and are driving you forward. This is for your person. Let yourself flow with these energies and put them to good use. This is an opportune time to attract your heart's desires. Do you want more love, peace, or greater understanding? Is your heart calling out for a new relationship? Does a current relationship need improvement? Focus on your desires and allow them to manifest by expecting them to. So your person's also playing with that energy of the magician, of creating what they want, of really calling it in. It says at the same time, release yourself to the flow. So back to that free yourself. Events greater than you can ever imagine may be heading your way. And I do believe this strongly. Project your desires, but also be open to new possibilities. So if you have someone in mind, you can go this person or someone better or someone more in alignment. Good fortune and joyful synchronicities come with the flow card. Open your heart and arms wide and embrace what comes to you. Nothing is static. Life flows in cycles, expanding and contracting, which mirrors what you're doing, expansion and contraction. Welcome this new cycle. When a stone is tossed into a pond, the ripples flow with the water as they expand and grow. You're in an exciting period of forward movement and expansion, heading into the unknown. This forward movement may guide you into a new relationship or out of old ones. In either case, know that the change is for your highest good. The energy of expansion will help you grow into your new situation gracefully, safely, and comfortably. And the affirmation is, I move forward with grace and ease. So that's a really, really beautiful one. And I actually will read sadness and isolation, sorrow, disappointment, trust, and healing. Love can bring both joy and sorrow. When disappointment enters your life, it's important to acknowledge the accompanying sadness and feelings of loss. However, it's equally vital not to dwell on the loss. The temptation may be to isolate yourself from the world and cling to your grief. This card is a reminder to trust that this situation, as hard as it may be, is in your best interest. It's time to gently let go of the sorrow and disappointment. And I have a feeling you're at the very end of, if you are gripping on to grief or disappointment from the past, you're at the very end. So you're not in that pain like you used to be. You're on the outskirts now, but you might revisit it every once in a while, like the surge of energy comes through. Sorrow can hold you back, or it can elevate you to new levels of understanding. Focusing on your sadness and loss will prevent you from attracting new, positive energy around relationships. So it's time to turn your disappointment into hope for the future. And that's that key with the free yourself and the magic. It's like free yourself from that sad grief, excruciating longing, disappointment, and step into the magic of life again. Face the fear. Face the fear that no one's coming. Face the fear you're going to be alone forever. Face those fears. Face the fear that that person is never coming back. Face those fears and set yourself free. It says, ask what lessons you can learn from the situation. Move beyond despair into healing and joyful love. Let go and move on. You have more powerful spiritual forces helping you than you could ever imagine. And I know when I say or read that, if you're still triggered and it's like, let go and move on, and you're like, no, or I can't. That's just, okay, so you have a little bit more work to do. And why are you holding on so tightly? What is it inside you that is afraid of? Is it loss? Is it abandonment? Is it rejection? Is it your age? Is it time? You feel like you don't have time left? If those are the things, try to create just a little bit of space, like energetic space between you and that belief, and see. So if you think, I'm this old, I wanted to have kids, I don't have any time, and you're contracted in that, then go, I have time, there's time. And just use that as a mantra. Or if you feel like you weren't recognized by a past partner, or you were so disappointed you don't understand, then maybe go, someday I will understand. I might not understand right now, but I will understand at some point when spirit or the universe, when it's right for me to know, I'll know. When that answer is available to come in, I'll receive that answer. Because if you haven't gotten it yet, there's a reason for that. If you feel like if it's about your physical body, so I'm too fat, I'm too ugly, my hair is gray, or whatever it is that you personally have a body image, self-worth, or self-esteem issue, what can you do to empower yourself with that? I'm lovable just the way I am. Or think about your love and what you're willing to offer someone. So if you would see someone, meet them, get to know them, and wouldn't just say no based on maybe a couple extra pounds, or if they're a silver fox, think about your love and the expansiveness of that and kind of go, the person that I'm calling in is going to love me for exactly who I am and celebrate me in all of my entirety. So I don't have to worry about that. I'm choosing to. Or if you're really serious about change and discipline in your life, and that's like empowering for you, but you're not doing it for the other person, then it's time to commit to an exercise routine or a new skincare routine or a new diet, whatever it is for you. But it's up to you to commit to those things so that you're moving the energy around how you're perceiving yourself and how you're perceiving the situation. And yes, it's easier said than done, but you can do it. And that is part of why we have this time of being single, so that we can work on those things. So the energy between the two is clarity of belief. Number one. Whoa, so this is a mental process here. So there's something really changing in the mental processes in terms of how each person is looking at this relationship or looking at a future prospective relationship. I decided to class my water up, so I've got lemon and water in a wine glass. So I'm going to read this one. Let's see, is this one? Clarity of belief. Define, communicate beliefs and transformation. Whoa. And this is a huge one. Communication. In the past year, in the past few weeks, in the past month, there may have been plenty of communication issues, miscommunication. There can be miscommunication or misunderstandings from the past. Spirit's aligning these energies, a little bit of magic, maybe some miracles, so that you can have this clarity that you've been asking for. So great potential is around you to define who you really are at this time in your life and determine what your beliefs are regarding love and commitment. Discard any outdated ideas about how a relationship should function and what the proper roles should be. Oh, here, 1 second here. Something is happening. Okay, hopefully I am still with you guys. How a relationship should function and what the proper roles should be. Decide what you need and what you're willing to give. Different relationships will require different strategies for success. And we already have the teamwork card. So this particular relationship is really calling for teamwork. So you need to be flexible and open-minded. Bring a breath of fresh air to your way of thinking about love and partnerships. So maybe you used to go really quickly. Now you're ready to go slow and take your time. When you have gained clarity, gently communicate this to other people with whom you're in a relationship. Explain how you would like to see the relationship change or grow, and exchange ideas on how each of you might alter your behavior to make this happen. Act upon your new insights and transform your relationships. So this is an awesome card. It is like an ace of swords. There's something new, like new clarity is coming. So you're going to be able to communicate, whereas before you might have kind of felt like you had to walk on eggshells or not communicate because you didn't think your voice was as powerful or as important as the other person's voice. So you always kind of put others before you. And now you're going, okay, my voice is just as important. So my needs, my wants or ideas about this relationship, I do want to communicate them, and I will respond and I will take my time. I don't need to rush or jump into anything anymore. You've tried that route. So another thing is you might totally in the past little while revamped what your expectations are. So you might be looking for monogamy, whereas before you weren't, or vice versa. You might be thinking, you know what, I am more of an open spirited person. I want to see multiple people, or I don't want to have that taken away from me. Or you might have been really excited to get married, and now you're thinking, you know, I don't actually need to get married. I might never get married, or I'm not going to get married again. That's not something that appeals or is important to me. So really getting to the root of who you are and what you want in a relationship right now. And once you have that, you're committed. You're not flaky about who you are or what you want. Like, you know, like you figured it out. You're reliable, baby. You can step into that relationship in your power and be facing your fears, right? So very important movement happening in this connection. This is really cool. There's communication coming. If you're not already starting this or haven't just started the communication, then it's going to flow really openly this time, whereas you might have hit start stop before, or hot cold before. There's going to be an understanding between the two, because spirit is helping this evolve. And so there we have the main part of the reading. And then here's the energies between the two spirits from my Kindred Spirit Love Oracle. And if you'd like to buy the deck, it's a 77 card Oracle deck. You can contact me or put a comment or send me a message on Kindred Heart Tarot on Facebook. So I'll also put the link in the description of this video once it's posted. And you can just buy it online and they'll ship it to you. So here we have new connection. A new connection is on the horizon. You are in alignment with this person, and the compatibility and chemistry will be instantaneous. Both parties move forward with healthy caution to ensure a stable foundation. Honest conversations will allow any old hurts to be released with love and compassion. Love can hurt, and it can also heal. Healing awaits. So something very different is coming in for you in terms of what you're used to in your romantic relationship. You've done so much work. Be really proud of yourself. But this one is saying both parties have been hurt in the past. So you have your hurts, and you're working on letting go and freeing yourself from the past baggage, because whether you know it or not, you know, that really has the power. If one person is stuck on a partner from the past, or stuck on who they thought they were in that relationship, and you go into a new relationship, it can sabotage and undermine the entire relationship. So this one is saying that both people know who they are. So you figured it out. You know, you've come into knowing who you are again and what you want. So you can honestly communicate with this person. And you know you don't have to rush it. You know that there's no purpose in that, and you're going to take your time. So it might not be a really fast moving. They might come in quickly, but you're going to take your time with them. And you're going to take your time communicating and figuring out where you stand with each other. So yes, we know love can hurt. We know we have been hurt, but it's time to open up and be vulnerable again. All right. So that's a really beautiful card in terms of what's coming in, compatibility and chemistry, right? So in the past, you might have just had chemistry with someone, but the compatibility felt off. Well, now the compatibility and chemistry is in alignment. So you have a really awesome foundation to build from. So here's the other card within this connection. So there's that energy of this new connection, this chemistry, compatibility, both parties moving forward with healthy caution, both parties really invested in a stable foundation. And here's what the shadow aspect that you guys are both healing. So this might be a little bit of what we're working on in order to allow this into our hearts. So it says shame. Unhealed shame can cause us to undermine healthy relationships and self-sabotage, which I was just talking about. One or both parties have deep underlying shame that is distorting someone's perspective. Shame is toxic to a partnership if left untended. And that is kind of what I was talking about here. So let's just say you had a partner who left or cheated on you, or maybe you cheated on somebody and you have a lot of shame associated with that. Well, it's time to clear that shame out, because if you bring that shame in and you're afraid that that person is going to leave you, but really they're loyal, they're committed, they're monogamous, or say you had an experience where someone cheated on you, you felt betrayed, and now you have trust issues, right? Like that shame, if you're always thinking this person, can you trust them? Are they going to leave you? Are they going to, like, how long are you going to get into this relationship before they cheat and leave? So, or they didn't tell you and you were betrayed and you didn't figure it out, so you have shame about not figuring it out sooner. Or there's so many scenarios, I can't get into all of them, but I'm just naming a couple common ones where you might experience shame. Even if it wasn't you who did something to hurt someone else, you might feel shame about being a victim in that situation. You know, someone not treating you right, someone not honoring you, and or not being seen or heard or valued, right? There could be shame. Maybe you stayed longer. You know, there's so many things. So for this new connection, both parties or one party, and, you know, it does look like it is this, your partner, who's still working on this flake energy. This part of that is this shame that they're working through. So this communication that is coming through, it might be a little bit tender. You know, it might be someone explaining to you really why they're a little bit hesitant, or why they did something in the past. If it's someone you already know, there's going to be kind of like a clearing of the slate and a deeper explanation to what you saw on the surface. And your intuition will probably have already exposed or told you about what possibilities could be there. And if this is a new person, they're probably going to be taking it slow, and they probably will reveal, you know, at a surface level at least, I've had, you know, heartache in the past, or I've had bad luck in the past with relationships. So you're both coming in with that caution. So be mindful of being open and having healthy boundaries and having that healthy caution. Because to go just right in, blasting away, you know, and going for the gold, so let's get engaged right now, and not really pay attention to anything because you feel like you're out of time, or you don't want to get to know someone, that's going to take so much time or energy or commitment, or change. So facing the fear of change, facing the fear of being with someone again and being hurt and being vulnerable, being exposed, this is really the crux of this relationship, is letting go of the past and allowing yourself to love again, and allowing yourself to shine brightly as who you are, that person that's excited about love, the person who wants to be with someone, is really like looking forward to having that person to, you know, hang out with or spend their time with, but also really recognizing how powerful and important it is to be reliable and loyal to yourself first, right? So that is the reading that I've got today for our love reading, our romance reading. And I would love to pull cards if you guys are watching and you want a personal romance card. Just put yes please in the comments, and I'll either pull from my Kindred Spirit Love Oracle, or I can pull from the Doreen Virtue Romance deck, and you can let me know which one you'd like if you do want a card. So once again, I'd just like to thank you guys for tuning in. I mean, I love doing these readings as an offering and being of service and connecting into the community. So thank you so much. If you guys can go ahead and like the video if you enjoyed it, that would be great. And if you haven't already subscribed, then please subscribe and support the community that way, support my growth. And yeah, so let me get into your personal card here. Stacey, did you want, I would say like the Kindred Spirit Love Oracle is like a deeper one. And then the romance one is kind of like a surface level. It's almost why I made my deck, is because I wasn't totally satisfied with the Romance Angels deck. It just leaves a little bit too much, but sometimes it's good to have those lighter kind of like one word without such a big description. So I'm feeling my deck, so I'm gonna do one for you, Stacey, from my deck. So no bias, right? So here we go. This one is for Stacey. Stacey, this message is for your higher self to help you and guide you on your journey with love. Okay. Healthy boundaries. So you have moved from having no boundaries to developing healthy ones. You have stood your ground and refused to settle. Keep your standards high and know this is your sacred right to protect your life force. So that's awesome. So really, Spirit is saying, good job. Like, you haven't settled, you're not settling. So hang in there, because this, new connection, this equal partnership. Hi, Kathy. Is coming in for you, and there's going to be that compatibility and that chemistry. And, this person probably also had boundary issues. And so you guys are going to be meeting, and this teamwork is going to come really smoothly. Because remember, it said that that connection is going to be instantaneous. There's going to be no questions. And you're both going to move slowly and methodically and just kind of like really enjoy that energy for the beginning of a relationship. So does anybody else want a personal card pull? If you do, just put yes, please, in the comments, and I will pull a romance card for you. If not, I hope you guys have a good Tuesday. Okay, Kathy, I'll pull one for you. And I hope you, focus on, that freedom energy for the rest of the week. And so if there's something bothering you, just moving your energy away from that for a minute, kind of just energetically give it over to Spirit or whatever you're comfortable with, whether that's God for you or the universe or whatever it is, your angels. Just give it over so that you don't have to keep it kind of ruminating in your nugget. So, Kathy, do you want a card from my Kindred Spirit, a little bit of a deeper energy, or did you want a card from the Romance Angels? Let me know. Or I can choose, but we know which one I'll probably go with. So, and once again, for those locals, I'm not going to say where I am, but if you know where I am, then my nails were done by Just the Tips by Jen. If you guys like those, I just did different colors, and they're kind of funky. They're little gel nails. So, all right, Kathy, I'm just going to choose for you. We'll go with the Kindred Spirit, a love oracle. Oh, perfect. So it worked out. Excellent. And yeah, I'm totally digging this new setup. It makes me feel more energized. Been waiting for that for a while. I was always just like, I need my own space. So, Kathy, this message is for your higher self, from your higher self, your journey in romance, transmutation. Ooh, hello. This one's kind of like powerful. You have been bitten by a snake and are learning to transmute poison. This is a powerful medicine and takes time and patience to understand. Once you have learned to withstand the poisonous bites of others, you learn to avoid danger and overcome painful circumstances. You're moving to a place of unawareness to healthy boundaries and protection from harm. So that's a really, really beautiful one. So, we just had the healthy boundaries card come up, and this one is, a deeper level of that, saying that, you are really learning how to transmute that more negative energy and avoid it, right? So we're not stepping into that trap anymore, or being the prey or the hunted anymore. We're the hunter, and or we're at least standing our ground, you know, as this warrior woman, which was from the beginning of the reading, and or man, if you're a male watching, and really cutting away, these toxins, these poisons in our life, within us and within our relationships and with other people. We're distancing ourselves from that. So really beautiful energy coming there through for you. So thanks everyone for watching. Once again, if you can, go ahead and give my video a like. That'd be amazing. I'd be very grateful. And I will catch you next time. Hopefully I will be on this Saturday. And if not, I'll let you know when I will be on instead. So take care, you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. And we'll see you next time. Lots of love. Ciao for now. Bye.